Welcome to the latest Motley Fool scoreboard. I'm on Chalk Fool, and we've got longtime fools Tyler Crow and Matt Frankel giving a 1 to 10 rating to a top 200 Moneyball database stock. It's Broadridge Financial Solutions, ticker symbol BR, not Baskin Robbins, as I would love it to be. First, we'll talk about the strength of Broadridge's business, including factors like industry and competition. A 10 is invincible, a 1 is hopeless. Tyler's at a 9, and Matt, you're also at a 9.
Yeah, Broadridge has an absolutely dominant share of delivering investor materials. You can see the mail sorter behind me has 2 or 3 different things from Broadridge in it right now. It's a business that its customers need and that no one is really clamoring to disrupt them on. Stronger revenue growth than you might expect, over 12% year over year in the last quarter, and about 2/3 of their revenue is recurring and very reliable in nature.
Look, I gave it a 9 too, and I would sound really silly for praising ADP, I think a couple episodes ago, for being a sticky, high-return professional service company, when Broadridge Financial, a spin-out of ADP, actually back in 2007, is a stickier business. Like 97% retention rate is about as good as you can get versus unless there's like companies going bankrupt. Look, nobody wants to handle like sending out proxy voting materials and doing like counting the votes, like when you can have Broadridge handle it. It's just like one of those weird core functions that nobody wants to do. And I know it's not the only business that Broadridge does, but I think it's indicative of the sticky services it provides to customers.
For management, a 10 is Warren Buffett, a 1 is Homer Simpson. Tyler's at a 7, Matt, you're at an 8.
Yeah, the CEO, Tim Goki, has been CEO since 2019. He's been with the company in executive roles for a lot longer than that. Decent returns, not market beating, but I feel like that's not really why you own Broadridge as a stock. Great board quality. The ex-chair of FINRA is on the board, is the lead independent director. There's a former SEC commissioner on the board. I mean, these are the people you want for a company that's based on, sending out investor materials. So I give it an 8 overall.
I said 7, no real gripes with it. It's kind of funny. Its founder, I guess, if you will, is the chairman. He started up the business. ADP bought it and then spun it out, and he was the chairman after the spin out. I think this business as a standalone is kind of one of those management stay out of the way more than anything else. And so I think I'm happy that management has used the cash generation for, shareholder returns instead of something silly like a bad acquisition.
For financials, a 10 is a fortress, a 1 is yikes. Tyler's at an 8, Matt, you're at a 7.
Yeah, and it's really a question of growth for me. Broadridge has grown at an annualized rate of less than 7% over the past 3 years. Their gross margin over the past decade has steadily been between 28 and 31%. Operating margin between 13 and 18% steadily over that time. The balance sheet's fine. $3 billion of debt, but really no major dings. It's a reasonable leverage. So 7 overall.
Yeah, 8 decent margins and decent returns for professional services. High free cash flow conversion, and no pluses or minuses on the balance sheet. So growth is modest. 7% is not bad, and if with a little margin expansion, a little bit of buybacks, you can bump that up to 10 to 11% on the bottom line.
All right, Tyler, let's talk valuation. How well will Broadridge's stock do over the next 5 years, and how safe is it? 10's a sure thing, 1's a lottery ticket.
So I went 10 to 15, safety score of 8. I don't want to feed the can AI do this narrative too much, but the one concern is something like an AI tool that would allow companies to internalize outsourced functions like the ones that Broadridge does. I think it's more likely that AI tools will be to these outsourced companies, so Broadridge will have an AI type tool to serve its clients, but there's always a chance, so just knock it down a peg or two.
Yeah, I went a little bit lower. I said 5-year returns in the 5 to 10% range, which is really why you own a stock like this with a safety score of 9. I see returns in the mid to high single digits, which really has been the case throughout Goki's tenure. It's been a roughly 9% cumulative return since he's been taken over. But I see this with significantly less volatility than the S&P 500. So if you want a decent return and that'll let you sleep at night, this could be the one for you.
Thanks to both Matt and to Tyler. They've given Broadridge a strong overall score of 7.8 out of 10 with no top-its. This is one of those to put on your watch list, and if there is a little volatility on the downside, maybe it's a buy. Look out for a new scoreboard every market day at 7 p.m. Eastern. Next up is Progressive, Till then, Fool on.
I
Nouns and
almost said
stuff.
Broadfield, and I was like, that's wrong.
Yeah.